A good RPG puzzle might not only be a challenge in of itself, but gives an opportunity for a fruitful combination with other aspects of role-playing, like the interaction with NPCs. An example for such a puzzle I want to outline here. I've chosen a specific setting and setup, but it should be quite easy to adopt it for your campaign with very few adaptations. In my scenario, the group gets lost in a forest. If it's due to carelessness or because of an adversary, doesn't matter for the puzzle. The woodland is quite dense, but a nice clear path lays in front of them. Shortly after their departure, they will meet a sentient being. Make it as cute or annoying as you like. In this case, let's go with a nice little forest dweller, Fluffy, and with a slight squeaky voice. It knows the area and offers to help them out, when bribed with some food or at least nice words. If they walk with swift pace, they can make good progress, and whenever a junction appears, their new friend will be quick to point out a direction. If they follow the advice for a while, they might notice some tracks on the ground. With a successful skill check in survival, perception, or whatever, they might notice that a group of travelers followed the same route they are roaming on. If they follow these tracks, their new friend will be happy, and they can find some more footprints later. With a good skill check, they might find out that the group they are following is roughly equal in size to the party, and with an excellent result, it is possible to determine that the group's composition is similar to your party. You might use that opportunity to describe the characters back to the players, like one of them is clearly heavier than the others, and one of them seems to have higher quality footwear. The conclusion to this puzzle is that their new friend is lying, because it does not want them to leave. Unfortunately, they also cannot find a way out of this place on their own because it's cursed. The solution to this is to always take the route that's not recommended. But what to do on a three-way junction? Let the players figure out that the little dweller will not only recommend one route, but also especially oppose another one. With that approach, the group can escape the cursed forest. This was just an example how you could set up this puzzle. You can choose any other settings in the forest. You just have to adjust your NPC accordingly. Speaking of the NPC. Make it as annoying or lovely as you want. But if you make it unlikable, keep a kind of respawn mechanism at hand. It can happen that the players outcast or even kill it, but then they will need an even newer friend to escape. If you want to increase the difficulty, you can introduce challenges in between. May it be unpleasant weather or terrain, or lack of supplies. Maybe even a combat every round they make it through the forest. At last I want to mention some challenges and pitfalls you should try to avoid with this puzzle as a DM. If your players don't find the solution, it might get very frustrating for them, but it becomes quite difficult to give them more clues beyond a certain point without giving the solution away. Allocate enough time for them and try to wrap tips in skill checks if needed. It all hinges on your NPC. But be very careful with your choice, because betrayal resonates very strongly with the players. I would recommend to use an NPC you won't need in a later point of the campaign. The trickiest question is whether or not you should use an actual map of the labyrinth. I made better experiences without one. It would restrict possible routes, and with the argument of the curse, it makes for a more atmospheric experience when the route follows the needs of the moment instead the laws of time and space. That said, I hope you and your group can have some fun with this little challenge.